Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello, everybody. It's Thursday night again, and we are back here at the Cantina GNN Cantina Happy Hour. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but
I heard it kind of.
They gave me a bunch of fun stuff, so we're gonna play with it. Anyway, I'm David. I'm your host. We are here to talk Star Wars and all Star Wars and everything Star Wars. We've got some big news. Andor dropped a trailer this week. And I know we weren't here last week, so I apologize for that. I had to go on vacation. I had to.
It's
my fault.
Mandatory.
It was my wife said I had to go, so I did.
Damn it!
Yeah, I know, right?
What a gal.
So we weren't here last week, but Andor did drop a new trailer. We're going to look at that. We're going to discuss the Umbaran arc from the Clone Wars season 5 episodes 17, 18, 19, and 20. Am I correct in thinking that, Debbie, or do you even know?
Mine was 7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it wasn't 17. All right. I was
like, which one did you watch?
Obviously not the right one. No, I'm good. This was one of my favorite arcs just because well, I'll get to that. But first, we want to look at the Andor. Let me give you a little footnote here before we go into this. So, Andor did the exact same thing that Kenobi has done. We were supposed to get Andor on August the 31st. That was the original date that they gave us. Now it's been moved back to September the 21st. 3 weeks later. But it's 3 weeks later, but they say, hey, we're going to give you the first 3 episodes instead of just the first 2. And I'm looking at it going, I don't care. I'm going to watch all the episodes anyway. I don't care if I watch all 3 of them or the first 3 all at once. You put the show out on time. Oh, but we're going to be going up against She-Hulk and Rings of Power.
Delayed She-Hulk.
So far as I know, it's still on for August.
Yeah, but I think they delayed it by a day or 2 or something like that.
No. Again.
The horror.
Yeah. How about 3 weeks? Come on.
Why though? Why?
Why? Well, they don't want it going up against their other show. So they don't want She-Hulk interfering with Star Wars. And I think about the same time is the Rings of Power hits Netflix. Right around that mid to late August time frame, I think. Because I seem to remember seeing it's like She-Hulk and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and something else. There's something else that's happening there too, and it's like everything all at once, and they're like, back off a little bit.
Yeah, we all remember what happened the last time Star Wars went up against Marvel. Solo ended up being a bomb. Well, maybe not a bomb, but underwhelming.
Underwhelming, yes. It was not a bomb. That was a good movie. That was one of the most underrated Star Wars movies.
I agree. Absolutely.
All because of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I blame honestly, I do blame The Last Jedi for
I knew that would get a reaction out of Cam.
We didn't have time to digest. That's what it was. That's
see? Somebody's looking at it rationally.
But and honestly, you said Solo and the Marvel movies and all that other stuff, and I got to thinking about it too, and I'm like, Last Jedi, what did that come out against? Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, the Squeakquel. Wow, boy howdy.
That was some stiff competition.
That one and is that Lady Gaga movie? with
Born a Star or something like that.
Yeah.
A
But
Star is
everybody,
Born.
Yeah, that's the one.
there you go. I don't know. I didn't see it. I had no desire to see it. I just remember they're talking about it on the radio, thinking, "Oh, Star Wars has got some stiff competition." I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Speaking of Lady Gaga, did you guys see that Lady Gaga has been officially cast as Harley Quinn for the next Joker movie?
Yes.
What are your thoughts, Dave?
No, I'm DC, and they actually just announced today that DC is going to basically reboot itself. They're gonna do they came out and said we're gonna follow the Feige model, and we're just gonna do origin stories, and we're gonna take it slow and build up to the bigger things. And I think that's what they should have done to start with. But the stinkers that they've put out, both Suicide Squads were okay at best. Shazam was okay.
I like Shazam. The second Suicide was a lot better.
Again, I didn't care. I didn't care. The whole Snyderverse, that god awful Birds of Prey movie. I really wanted to play Russian roulette without a revolver with like a magazine. Yeah.
I was disappointed because
I was like,
Ewan McGregor was in it, and I was really excited to see him. And then that little turd floated to the top, and it's like, this is bad.
So DC, now don't get me wrong, Joker was good. I did enjoy Joker. I liked Joker. I just liked Joker not because of the character or the way the character was portrayed, but and my wife and I kind of both agree on this, was we really like the mental, watching the mental decline and seeing someone just, I mean, because it's real, just seeing somebody that starts at a point and just slowly goes batcrap crazy I mean, it's frightening because it's real. That's why she wanted to watch Split. And I was like, oh, okay. And honestly, I loved Split. I thought it was great. And then
great film.
And then at the very end, I was like, oh, I had no clue. I had no idea that it was a continuation to Unbreakable. And I'm just like, no, I had no idea. None.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing. So I was like, when that happened, I was just like, oh. And I said to my wife, I was like, oh, we got to go back and watch this other movie. You haven't even seen this one. We got to go watch this one now. I had to run to Movie Trading Company in the middle of the night to go buy a copy of it because I didn't even own a copy. It's like, we got to watch this one. And then Mr. Glass came out, and it was okay. It wasn't as memorable, but anyway, we're off tangent here. Let's watch the Andor trailer because we got a big trailer and there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So let's push the play button. Modified AK-47. I'm loving the sound right there.
To steal from the Empire? You just walk in like you belong. They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this. Would you rather give it all to something real? I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting.
You're in my net. you a fish? Or are you a thief? You're slipping.
I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what revolution looks like. I'm tired of losing.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy. Boy howdy, there was a lot there. This is our first real look. This is the first full trailer, I should say, for Andor. So I think one of the things that makes me most excited about this, I mean, I like Cassian because of who he is and his character within Rogue One. I loved the character within Rogue One. I don't care what you say, Dave Gramillion. I know you're watching. Rogue One. Yes. Love that movie. And I liked Cassian. And I have my personal reasons for it, but I liked Cassian. And this, seeing his rise to power, if you will, or his rise up to the Empire. I'm guessing that's what we're seeing here is a lot of this where is it? Is him just as a kid. Yeah, like this here. He says, how do you get into the Empire? Do you just walk up and pretend like you belong?
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is we're going to see some either flashbacks or it's going to start with him as a kid and growing up.
I really hope that they I really hope that they really double down and capitalize on the idea that Cassian Andor is such a morally great character. You know, I really want them to show us that he has to make, hard choices and choices that, there's no good outcome either way, but he has to make those choices for the greater good. I really hope that they, show us that, the rebellion isn't as, squeaky clean as,
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to think it is. People do some shady stuff in there.
So we got this, yeah, and Saw Gerrera's prime example of that, and obviously we're going to be getting Forrest Whitaker. He's later on in the trailer here. We're going to be getting Saw Gerrera back, which was great, awesome. Can't wait. But this, so we got the Imperial Senate Chamber. What do you suppose the chances are that we get an Ian McDermott cameo?
It's over 9,000.
Well, I think it would be even if he was just there to say like two lines, just like not "I am the Senate." Come on, but just two lines, like he's addressing the Senate.
Yeah, at that point, I'm totally, I'm all for these shows embracing the meme culture, but if Palpatine just walks up on the podium and just says, he spreads his arms and says, "I am the Senate." Okay, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah, we'll get the officers again.
Well, what I like about this show is, I mean, we've seen a few characters we already know. Obviously Cassian, and then we have Mon Mothma, and then we have Saw. But I like that we're going to get a whole bunch of new characters that we don't know jack crap about. So I'm excited about that.
We hope, at least.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
See, and that was one of the things. Like with Kenobi, I went into Kenobi completely blind. I did not read any of the spoilers. I did not look at other than what the trailers were. That was my knowledge of Kenobi. And I think one of the things, and we discussed it on the show here, was we talked about, I hope, Leia is in it. I hope they just do a little surprise cameo with Leia as she's a kid. We know that Luke's going to be in it, but we want to see Leia too. And sure enough, like the whole show was the Obi-Wan and Leia show. It was the old man and the little girl running around. So I'm wondering if they're going to do the same kind of thing here, because now you're dealing in a time that's before Rogue One, so before the Battle of Yavin, and you're dealing with a time period building up to that. Will we have the Leia cameo? Will Jimmy Smits be in it? I mean, that's feasible.
Honestly, I hope not. That was one of my biggest gripes with the Kenobi series, was the fact that it relied on almost everybody except the titular character to carry the story. So I'm okay with a cameo here and there. Whatever, important people that come across each other in this huge galaxy of trillions, but whatever. But I don't want those past characters to be what the story ends up being about, because you already have a good character in Cassian, and really, like, just from the character context that was given to us in Rogue One, nothing more is needed, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you've got Mon Mothma. She's a huge figure in the rebellion. That's understandable because their paths would logically cross every now and then. But I don't want to see Leia. I don't want to see Kenobi. I don't even want to see Vader. I want this to be a more contained show rather than just say, hey, this guy's here and this guy's here and this is going to set up this and this is setting up this story that came before this one. And it's like, it just gets tired after a while.
It gets to be too much. And I get that too. Honestly, I don't want to see Kenobi either. And not because I don't love the character, but because one of the things that really appealed to me about Rogue One was the fact that it did not rely on the Force. It was mentioned, and you had the Turret and Baze, and they had their little thing where they were the Guardians of the Wills, and so it was like, we're the monks that are protecting the Order, but the Order isn't really around anymore, kind of thing. We're keeping up the beliefs, and it made it real. Is what, in my mind, it made it real, because these are the troops that are on the ground and they're fighting, and they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. And they're fighting the war. They're not fighting the internal conflict between, he's my father and we've got to fix this. And it's not the light side versus the dark side. It's
people.
It's the good guys versus the bad guys.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Jedi or Force or lightsabers, because this is a spy thriller. That's what this show is all about. It's a spy thriller. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Bail, because, I mean, he's part of the rebellion. He works closely with Mon Mothma. So, I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed if he's not in it, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, because he is part of the rebellion. He's one of the inside people. So
looks like Dave Vermillion is watching live right now. He's commenting on things. Other than throwing nostalgic content up to keep people on Disney Plus, why is this made? Because
a lot of people like Rogue One.
Yeah, Dave. I like Rogue One. I'm looking forward to this.
I love Rogue One.
and honestly, as far as Star Wars goes, and you can look at it and say, why do they keep putting Star Wars content on there? You know what? I'm loving the shows. I'm loving the idea of a show every 6 months or 12 months or whatever, and rather than a movie. And I think because the movies, it's like you go to the theaters and you enjoy the theaters, but you're there for like 2 hours and then you go home. And with these, it's like a weekly movie, basically. It's something you can look forward to every week. And then once you see the whole thing as a whole, it's. I know a lot of people ran into that and they gave up on Marvel with WandaVision. That was like, what's going on here? And it's like you're looking at a small chunk of it. Wait for the whole picture to show up, and we want to binge the whole thing. It's like Chris has said this before. That's not the way TV shows work. So, got a cool shot of an X-wing on this one, and God help me, I don't know his name, but he was in Rogue One too. One of Saw's little lackeys. We had an there he is. We had an X-wing and a TIE fighter in this. So I'm liking the fact that it's still staying true somewhat to not somewhat. It's still saying, hey, look, we're still in a galaxy far, far away, and here are some things that'll help you recognize that. One of the biggest complaints that people had about this is there's no aliens in it. Did you notice that? There are no other.
Not until you said something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like it when trailers show every freaking thing. So, who knows? I mean, we got how many episodes of this? Plus,
there will be 12 plus 12 in season 2. So they have already confirmed the season 2, and they've already confirmed that there are 12 episodes per season. And we'll get 3 of the first 12 just to keep you people happy. We're going to get 3 so you can binge the first 3 and say, okay, well, it's going somewhere. We're good.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, of course there's going to be those people who are going to be like, worst Star Wars ever. Why are there no Jedi in this?
Well, this happened at a time when the Jedi... We've discussed that. It's been seen... I mean, you've been seeing... What did Kenobi tell that one guy? Just go take your lightsaber and bury it in the desert and forget all about it because we lost. The Jedi are in hiding. And, I mean, even this guy here... He's white, he's pasty, he's got on dark clothes with a red trim. My guess is he's a bad guy. Could be another Inquisitor, maybe.
It's all fun and games until they decide that Cassian Andor is force sensitive.
Don't do that. Sometimes the Force and him have different.
Yeah, Cassian's, holding his gun up on somebody. Like off in the distance, you hear the Force thing coming on. Do 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 do.
So,
I gotta say, Stellan Skarsgård is looking pretty good for this.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what his role is. I mean, is he working with the rebellion? Is he working with Saw? Is he working with?
I almost feel like he's going to be like I almost feel like he's going to be like an Imperial defector.
Maybe like a Mon Mothma character, to where he's a senator of some kind, and he's he's working in the background to defeat the Emperor, and I don't know. Again, I'm not gonna read anything into this until I see the show. This what I'm seeing here is that's what it's gonna be for me. These are my spoilers. Not looking into any spoilers.
Yeah, I hope we don't get any more trailers. Like I said before, I hate it when they drop 20,000 trailers and you've basically seen the show. So
I think you'll be good, because I think they're pretty good about doing one trailer, and I mean they'll probably do several TV spots.
I was gonna say we've still got like 5 TV spots to go.
Yeah. And
I try to stay away from those. So
and even then, a lot of the TV spots are okay. We saw that in the teaser trailer. We saw that in the regular trailer. So anyway, Mon Mothma. We get Mon Mothma.
I recognize that guy. Yeah, the guy who you have up on screen right now. I don't know the actor's name, but I just thought of this. I remember him from that 2009 movie Ninja Assassin. Did either of you see that?
No.
No. That was kind of a smaller one. Wasn't huge at the box office, but yeah. Anyways, I recognize him. Just thought I'd voice that.
There you go. If you saw the 2009 movie Ninja Assassin, there he is. We don't know who he is, but there he is. Let's see. There was this other girl. Where's the other girl? I had her. Her. Now, who is this?
I don't see.
It's the same guy.
The same guy? Oh.
It's the same actor. Who'd have thunk it?
Makeup
has come a long way.
Well, that wouldn't. Are your pictures not moving around? Am I doing this wrong?
I'm looking at looks like a bridge, or maybe there we go.
Okay, we got a girl in a red cloak now.
Yeah.
Okay, who is this? It's Princess Leia.
It's obviously Ahsoka in disguise.
Obviously. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, she kind of looks like her.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. I wonder if since Saw is on here, I wonder if we'll see a young
Jen. That wouldn't be too awful, and actually that would be a lot more feasible, because that would be she said, I think she said, you left me when I was 15 years old. You left me in a ditch with a knife and a blaster and said, good luck. And so, and obviously a lot's happened to him since then. I mean, he's lost one or both legs, and he has to have a breathing apparatus now. And I mean, he's just been through hell. So,
if she's still part of Saw's network, but I mean, her and Cassian can't meet, but maybe we could see her, maybe he sends her on a mission or something like that.
Or maybe it's the kind of thing where he's talking to her and again, just a cameo, and he turns around and says, Jen, come grab this real quick. And she just stands up and walks to him.
I hope not. I really don't.
I saw this. Do you see this ugly guy right here with the eyes? Or are you still on the red lady in the red cloak?
No, we're on a guy jumping off a building.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he has like a matrix wire attached to him.
Yeah. he's doing the Australian rappel down the.
Okay, there we. Oh no.
No, not that guy. Not that guy. Where did he go? This guy here.
I don't know.
He's got 4 arms. He looked like Maz Kanata.
I see 3 guys jumping off a bridge.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, there's a guy further on down.
Yeah, I see. It looks like an operating table.
Oh, I lost him.
There we go.
You got him?
Okay.
So
yeah, he has like 4 arms.
He's got 4 arms. He's got these things on his eyes. I mean, honestly, like I said, as I was watching this in North Carolina on my phone with my screen scratched to crap and not looking at this I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, was that Maz? It's Maz Kanata. They're going to tie everything back to her. And then I saw it again. I was like, oh, that ain't her. I'm not.
Maybe he's a distant relative.
No, Maz didn't have 4 arms. But he goes, and I won't try and fast forward and show you the operating table. He's working on somebody. He's operating on somebody, and I'm wondering if it's like what happened with the Book of Boba Fett, where they had the
cybernetics.
Yeah. If he's one of those type of people, which would be kind of interesting. But also too, the person that, and I really wish if I could just land it just right again. The guy that he's working on the table, looks a heck of a lot like there. Okay, do you see? Is he?
Yeah.
It does. Fallen Order.
Oh, Cal Kestis?
Yes. Does he look like Cal Kestis?
I don't know
hair?
about.
Red spiky hair.
I'll have to kind of bring my phone in. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I see a guy falling. I don't see anybody. So
I'm sorry, Debbie. I wish you could see what we're seeing.
Well, I mean,
it's okay. I'm used to being the outsider. It's all right.
Again, I hope not, because I don't want to see the. I don't mind the mentioning of the Force and the Jedi and all that, but I don't want to see that. I want to see the real people.
Yeah, like honestly, I want this to be like the war show.
Yeah.
I want there to be, espionage and, sabotage and all kinds of spy stuff. With a show like this, with a leading character like this, we don't need the Force.
No.
True.
No. I completely agree. All right. So there you go. Andor. We get the first 3 episodes September the 21st rather than August the 31st. Thank you, Lucasfilm. We appreciate everything that you do for us and making us wait for cool content that we can talk about. Okay. Let's look at the Clone Wars. We are talking about some of our favorite arcs within the Clone Wars. We did the Mortis arc 2 weeks ago. This week we are going to do the Umbara arc. This was an interesting one. I really liked this one, not because I know General Krell is like Debbie's favorite person in the world right now. But
oh, she loves him. I can tell by the look on her face.
Yeah, look at her. I don't think I've seen that lip curl like that in a long time.
I hated that guy.
It's a lip curl of adoration.
Yeah, it was my Elvis impression. Impersonation. That's what I wanted to say.
There you go. No, we now this was. I like this one because it deals a lot with the 501st. I don't look at it as dealing with Krell. I look at it as dealing with the troops, with the real people, even though they're clones, but they're still real. Yes, the real people, the real soldiers. One of the interesting things I noticed about this one, and I don't know what Dave Filoni was thinking. In all 4 of these episodes, there was 4 episodes, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of season 5. And in all 4 of these episodes, I don't think anybody with a blaster could hit the broadside of a barn. There were so many scenes where it was like there was just blaster bolts flying everywhere and nobody was getting hit. There was, when they were hunting Krell, when they were trying to capture him, they had circles around him and they were firing in the center of the circle, which is not a good thing to do, but that's what they were doing. And he was dodging like everything. And I mean, you're talking not hundreds of troops, but you're talking a lot of troops. You're not talking just 1 or 2 and okay, we can avoid that. I mean, there was a lot. People complained about the stormtroopers in the original trilogy, and they can't. Oh, the stormtroopers are terrible shots. They're terrible shots, which I have my own theory about that, but whatever.
Well, I mean, you got to kind of think about the demographic that this show is targeted towards. And it's not just the Clone Wars. If you go back and watch Rebels, I mean, yeah, some people die, some people get shot and whatnot, but for the most part, like, everybody is just a terrible, terrible shot. And it's not just the stormtroopers either. It's also the heroes. So I think that, the creators of the show are trying to keep the body count low for the sake of the kids. It's for the kids, man.
Star Wars is for children.
Very true.
I get that. I see that. I understand. But even still, in this arc, and I'm glad you brought it up, they were killing people. And it was brutal the way that they were killing. I mean, they had some of the guys crawling out of the ships after they shot them with a rocket launcher, and they're just walking up. I mean, it's like, dude, this is a kids show. I forgot how bad it was. I was like, holy smokes, they're just like assassinating people left and right.
It's all about finding that balance.
I guess.
You gotta balance life and death, man.
The thing is, these the shadow people, which is what they were called, they were so hard to kill because they had all these weird weapons and whatnot that, these troopers had never seen before. They didn't know how to deal with them. And then, of course, Krell, Jackass of the Year award, he's doing everything he can to slaughter as many clones as he can. And I think, we hear and see in the show just how much bickering there was between the clones, because some were like, he's a Jedi, we follow orders, and then others like
good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, Kix and Hardcase, they're just like, why are we following this guy so blindly? Which, hello, yeah. And so, it created a discourse between the clones themselves, which was hard to watch. And
it was hard to watch, but again, and I'll say this in hindsight now, after watching the final season of the Clone Wars, and where you had the Mandalore siege, and then obviously Order 66 happening with Ahsoka trying to survive and everything, and again the rift being created there between Rex and the rest of the troops there, and so it was, for me, it was a lot easier to watch, because it's like, oh, these are just, they're good soldiers following orders, and these guys over here are not quite as good, but they realize something isn't right. So it's hard to watch, but for me, it was a lot easier this time around, just because I saw the same thing later on in the Clone Wars.
Well, I always found this this particular story arc hard to watch. I mean, even though we know that eventually they end up, purging out the Jedi, but it's just like, this was like, what, season 4, I believe?
Season 5.
And season 5. But by this time, we have grown so attached to these clone troopers. I mean, Cody, Rex, Kix and Hardcase and
Jesse.
Fives.
Jesse was there.
Yeah. You get attached to them, even though you know what they're going to do later, but it's not their fault. And it's like, I compare it to like Bucky from Marvel. The Winter Soldier, yeah, he was a bad guy. He had no control over that. It's just, what he does, but at least for me, because I love Sebastian Stan. But, you feel for him, even though what he's done and what he's going to do. But I've watched Winter Soldier and Captain America so many times, but I still root for him. Just like, come on, Bucky. And, I feel the same way with the troopers. It's just like, what they're going to do, but you still get attached to them. And, everybody has their favorite clones. So it's a hard arc to watch, because they're needlessly being slaughtered by this jackass.
I remember back in 2002 when Attack of the Clones came out, and that's all you saw on the TVs was commercials for Attack of the Clones, and you saw all the armor, and this was before memes existed, but there was a picture floating around on the very beginnings of the internet that said, wait a minute, are we rooting for the bad guys now? Kind of are.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that the Clone Wars did exceptionally well, was endearing us to the clones, because if you watch the Clone Wars and then immediately go and watch Revenge of the Sith right after, you don't really get much of the clones as individuals. You just see them as boots on the ground, just drones following orders. But then
there was a couple. I mean, I think in Revenge of the Sith there were 2 named clones. I think it was Cody and Oddball.
Oddball, yeah.
The 2 named ones, but the rest of them, it was.
Yeah, and it's like
numbers.
Yeah, definitely. And like the clones, even though they're clones born from a genetic template, they're still people. I mean, they might all look the same, but they are still individuals who all have individual experiences. So it's nice that these different arcs of the Clone Wars are taking the time out to really capitalize on that idea.
Yeah. Well, and then Yoda in the episode, I think it was the first season, or first season, episode 1, Ambush,
where he's Rodaria or whatever.
Yeah, he's with the 3 clones, and he can see them as different individuals in the Force.
Yeah, each one of you has a special talent, and everybody used their special talent through that entire episode. Not one of my favorite episodes, but yeah, it was fun.
And I mean, Krell, a lot of I shouldn't say a lot of the Jedi, but there's some Jedi. Oh, has it been
it hasn't been an hour yet.
Some of the Jedi, even though they weren't as extreme as Krell, seeing the clones as, they're just doing their job, I mean, Obi-Wan said it a few times in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin wants to go back and, in that first opening scene in the battle scene where, the clones are getting blown out of the sky, and Anakin wants to go back and help them. He goes, no, let them do their job. That's what they're there for. And I'm like, really? And some of the other Jedi were like that too, but Anakin, he was
Anakin respected his troops. He liked his troops.
He was very connected. Excuse me. He was very connected with his team, or any team that he led, and he was always out front fighting with his team.
I think
like Krell, who sat in the background and was just like, feeble-minded clones.
I think oh gosh, I just forgot his name. I just said his name too, and now I just can't even remember. Oh my gosh. Anyway, there was another Jedi like that. When they
Plo
Koon, thank you. I don't know. I said it, and it was just like say it and then delete. Plo Koon was the same way as I think, in my opinion, as Anakin was, because he was always talking about and to his clone, and he'd take the time to listen to him and say, okay, what are your thoughts? What do we need to do here?
Yeah, Obi-Wan was like that most of the time, but I mean, there was just moments where, that's what they're there for, they're indispensable. I mean, he didn't really come out and say that exactly, but every so often you just got that impression.
But and you saw that from Obi-Wan, because he would use their names. They were assigned numbers, and they kind of came up with monikers with their names, with their who are we, what, how, fives made sense to me. His number was TK 55555. It's like fives, of course, makes perfect sense. But with Obi-Wan, he used their names. I mean, he at least went that far. Whereas Krell was, until he was caught, he was very much, I'm by the book, and I'm going to call you by your number designation and not your. I'm not even going to give you the benefit of me acknowledging you as a human. You are a clone.
He didn't respect him at all.
I'm superior to you, and a lot of other people are superior to you because you're just a copy. So, what a putz. So, yes, Krell we don't like, and let's talk about him for a minute. So you've got a slimmed down, muscular version of Dex from what you call it?
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. I told you we were going to talk about it.
Everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite.
I like Attack of the Clones. It's a romance story. Sort of. It shows one of the reasons why Anakin fell to the dark side.
It's a Shakespearean romance in the fact that it's awkward and cringy.
Yes.
And potentially problematic.
Oh, I can't. There it is.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
And he's an awkward teen.
That was so romantic. Oh, what a
he doesn't know how to be romantic. That's the issue, like most teenagers.
I think what would have made that even funnier, what would have been like, he goes to Padme, he's like, "Oh, you got sand in your hair," and he brushes it away. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like sand.
Somebody said that's why they had Luke on Tatooine, because they knew he wouldn't go back there. Too much sand. Oh, horrible. Horrible. So, Krell, we Attack of the Clones. Somebody had mentioned on the GNN Greats page that they liked this one, but they did not agree with the direction that Krell went, to where they could have built something better around the character, and instead they just kind of said, okay, he's going to join Dooku, and he's sabotaging the whole thing. You know, he's going to switch to a separatist, and he's going to slaughter all of these troops and give Umbara back to the Shadow people. And I was just like, yeah.
What direction did they want him to go?
Yeah, I know.
What more could you do?
I have no idea. I don't know. And again, and as many times too as he sent them into I want you to go do a full frontal assault on, this thing. I'm like, my God, how many troops did they have? Because it's like, we got slaughtered out there. Oh, okay. Then you go out again. We got slaughtered again. Okay. We got slaughtered for the third time. How many of you are there? How many 501st troopers are there? Because in some of them, you're holding some of them back, and I get that. But I'm like, my gosh.
Well, I mean, if you count up how many people were actually hit, they took at least 3 casualties.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, fine. I'll give you that one. They couldn't hit anything. Nobody could hit anything. Anyway, I mean, even as far as Krell goes, even when the clones had a good idea, like they had the one about the where Rex said, "I'm sending 2 guys in to go steal the starships so that we can destroy these cannons, because these cannons are killing us, and everybody's dying, but there's enough of us, so we're okay." Which I don't understand. I was watching it going, if I was them, I would have run headlong into those cannons, because those things are big enough that they're not going to be able to find you as a small target. Just go stand underneath them. They can't find you. They can't see you. Just go stand underneath them. Shoot up. You'll be fine.
Well, the thing is, they were also being attacked by I don't know what they were called. They had a big globe and legs. They look,
It was those. Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like the spider droids.
That was the cannon. It's the Umbara heavy cannon.
Well, the thing is that none of their weapons was no good against it, so that's why they needed the ships.
Well, and yeah, again, I get that, but if I'm gonna say, okay, we just need to stall them for a little bit, I'm gonna run up underneath them and just go hide and say, "Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here." Have one of them shoot at the other one. Look, I'm standing on this other guy. Come shoot me. I'll jump out of the way.
Yeah,
But
that
anyway.
wouldn't make for exciting television, though.
I guess. But anyway, so they steal the ships, and he both reprimands and congratulates Rex on a job well done. Well, I think the line was I think he almost paid you a compliment, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then too, you had we're gonna fly up to the control ship. Was it the control ship or something like that? We're gonna take the ship.
Supply ship.
Yeah, the supply ship, and we're gonna blow up the supply. No, that's a horrible. Why is this a horrible idea? I mean, I know you're trying to kill all of these troops, and I get that, but you know what? If I'm trying to kill a bunch of people, I'm going to make them feel safe around me. Oh, yes, that's a great idea. Oh, well, we can trust him. He's a good guy. And then you turn and stick a knife in their back. He did it all wrong. That's all I'm saying. General Krell did it all wrong.
Well, he did have one plan that almost worked, and that's when he came up with the shadow people have stolen, clone armor.
Oh, yeah.
Armor and weapons, and I mean they set them against each other, and luckily Rex was able.
Luckily, nobody could hit anybody else. So
well, that's true. But Rex was able to figure it out, and I forget how. But he's seen a body laying, and he realized, holy shit, that's us.
He kicked his helmet off or something like that.
And if that hadn't happened,
and then he popped his helmet off and started running. Hey, wait!
Yeah. If that hadn't happened, Krell probably could have gotten away with killing a lot more troopers.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling clones.
And then, okay, so who was it that was backing Krell? I can't even remember his name.
Dogma.
Yeah. So he's.
I wanted to smack him so bad.
Well, and he's just a good soldier who's following his orders. That's all it is.
I know, but it's just like, geez, example after example of, it's in front of your face, dude.
And even,
of course, Rex was putting a little pushback too, but at least he was.
And even when they finally did arrest him and they caught Krell, and then they had him in the
brig,
the prison, basically, yes, of right next to him, in fact. And he sat there and spilled out his whole plan and blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he shot him. He tried to get Rex to execute. He's like, "You won't kill me. You can't kill me." I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, just straight. And then it turns back, and of course it's him. He shouldn't have done that to my brothers. And it's like, again, very, very, very dark for a Saturday morning kid show.
Yeah, well, I think that's what keeps a lot of these, a lot of the audience coming back is, yeah, the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff are made for kids, but they don't hesitate to go dark where they need to. There are a lot of mature themes in the shows, like Anakin, for example. I watched a compilation the other day of like all the times that Anakin was skating towards the dark side, where he is like choking people out and beating the crap out of everybody, and it's like. Like this show didn't hold back.
No.
Well, I mean, it did, but there were moments where it didn't hold back.
It was a PG-13 show. It was PG-13, and it.
Well, I think Filoni did a very good job with making this show that is basically geared towards kids, but also doing a really good job at keeping the adults, attracted to this show. And I'll admit, I did not watch this when it was first aired. It was probably maybe 7-8 years ago, because my youngest son was, Mom, you got to watch Clone Wars. You'll love it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, isn't it a kid's show, blah, blah, blah. He goes, just watch it. And I finally did, and I was like, "Wow, I was stupid."
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm kind of in that same boat too. I mean, I didn't start watching it until a lot later because the first thing of Clone Wars that I saw was the movie, and after that I was like,
And see, I didn't even know there was a movie.
Left the sour
I had
taste
no
in your
clue.
mouth, did it? Okay,
Yeah.
so this is, and I told this to when I got to speak with James Arnold Taylor and Ashley Eckstein and Matt Lanter. This was one of the things that I talked to them about, was that for me, and I did see the Clone Wars movie. I saw it in the theater. It was 2008. I remember it vividly because I almost fell asleep because we had a new little baby, and we got my dad to come babysit, and so we could go to the movies, and I'm just like, I'm tired, and it's dark, and it feels good in this theater. But I remember watching the Clone Wars. I would get up, I would DVR them because I think actually they came on like Friday night, and I would just, here's a good one for you kids. I had a TiVo. Go look that one up.
I had that
Wow.
too.
Google that one up. So I had a TiVo. So I would TiVo the shows, and then on Saturday mornings, you got to get the baby up, and the baby gets his milk, and Daddy makes a bowl of cereal, and we sit on Saturday mornings and watch cartoons, just like I used to do as a kid. And that's why it gave me a cartoon to watch on Saturday mornings. Is really what it boiled down to. And honestly, I saw every episode, not the day that it aired, but like I said, I watched it the day after, and I just thought it was a great show.
Star Wars, bringing families together.
I'm telling you, yeah. I had a video, and it was on my Facebook, popped in my Facebook memories of Luke, little 2-year-old Luke, and he's standing there in front of the TV, and all of a sudden the Lego Star Wars special comes on, and he's dancing around, Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation comes out tomorrow.
Woo!
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
We will. You know what? We will discuss that one next week. We won't go into we'll discuss it like we did with the Andor trailer. We'll just kind of do the first part of the show, and then we'll talk. Well, we're going to talk about the Clone Wars next week, but I want to talk about the Lego Star Wars because, hey, David's a big fan of the Lego Star Wars. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, Debbie, did we miss anything that you wanted to talk about?
Consult the notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I've got my notes.
Debbie's my note taker.
No, I think we covered everything outside of. I did think it was interesting because while Krell was in the brig, and Rex is talking to him there on the final episode, towards the final minutes of the show, and he's talking about, he's not a Jedi, or no longer a Jedi, and that he had this vision, and basically seeing what was going to happen. And I kind of wonder because, I think this way just about with any, like Anakin and his nightmares or whatever, or visions. And I believe this to my core, that Palpatine manifested those. And I think maybe that's what happened with Krell too. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think, Poppy.
Well, okay, let's pose this theory, because at the very first of the episode, Anakin was called back to Coruscant under Palpatine's orders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could Palpatine have implanted this vision into Krell, knowing that he didn't really care for clones too much, but implanted this vision into Krell and thinking, okay, this is what's going to push Anakin to the dark side. When he loses all of his men, when he loses his division, his 501st Division, that's going to be what's going to push him over the edge. And obviously it didn't happen, and he was like, okay, I got to find something else. But yes, that actually, I had never thought of it that way, and it makes perfect sense. Because like I said,
why I'm here.
Thank you, Debbie. We love it.
Throwing out theories.
It was never really explained why Anakin had to be hauled off.
No,
it was
that's what Palpatine wanted.
Yeah.
Convenient.
So now it makes me
coincidence.
Wonder.
I think not.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, well, let's hope we don't post that theory anywhere online, because we're gonna have a whole bunch of people coming out being like, well, actually.
Yeah. What about this episode back here that was okay? Whatever.
It wouldn't have benefited Palpatine at all to have Anakin turn to the dark side at that point in the Clone Wars.
Armchair.
But that was the whole thing. And I think Palpatine knew this the whole time, that the one thing with Anakin was that he cared too much about people. I mean, we've seen that with Padme. I mean, he cared so much for her. Well, he ended up marrying her. And especially with the clones, I mean, he had such an attachment with them, and he connected with them. He understood them. He cared about them. And it's, that's shown, especially in Revenge of the Sith and other show, or during Clone Wars. Sorry, lost my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, that's one of Anakin's downside, is he cares too much. And
it's what did Yoda tell him at Revenge of the Sith? He said, you got to train yourself to let go. Don't worry about those that, and again, yeah, that's one of his, he cares enough to where he doesn't want anyone to die, or any one of his friends, his circle of people that he trusts and loves. So yeah.
And it very true with Ahsoka. I mean, yeah, he wanted nothing to do with having a Padawan. And the first, well, was that in the movie where she was introduced? I can't remember.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was very against that idea, but I mean, they became very close, and of course he felt betrayed when she left.
Come on, Sky Guy. You got it, Snips. Shut up. Shut up. Come on, R2E. Let's go. No.
Stop.
You are
stop.
Oh.
I think though that the worst part of the entire Clone Wars movie was whenever she and Anakin are huddling under that debris while the battle droids are moving past them, and like halfway through she's like, I can't crouch anymore, I have to stand up, and she stands up and blows through cover.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, inexperience. She's just a Padawan.
And then that whole scene where she pulled the building down on top of Anakin and crushed all the droids, but he happened to be standing right where the window was.
That was such a Charlie Chaplin moment.
What was the what was the when Jen shot that Imperial droid on Jeddah? Did you know that wasn't me? Oh yeah, sure. Did you know I was gonna be right there? Oh yeah. No worry about it. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was part of my
wow.
Plan. I knew you were
do that. Terrible.
Oh, but that's why we love Star Wars, because there's always
something to laugh at.
Star Wars, I'm sorry, but it's not perfect. None of it.
No. Nothing is perfect. There's not.
But we still love it.
But we still
At least I do.
Okay.
Nothing is perfect except for Ewan McGregor, in which case it's debatable.
Either that or Chris Hemsworth. Talk to her about Chris Hemsworth. The whole Thor thing where
Tom Hiddleston, y'all.
Yeah, she's lost. She's got all of them.
No, she loves Sebastian Shaw, especially in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Oh, no. I thought you were going to say Sebastian Stan. You tricked me. You and your Jedi mind tricks.
Okay. Debbie, shameless plugs. Do we have shameless plugs this week?
I don't know. I assume we're having an MCU Monday show, but I don't know.
I have not
heard.
We took the week off this week.
Since She-Hulk. I don't know. I don't even know what day it's coming out anymore.
I think it's August 18th. I think it's like mid-August. I want to say
what
August.
What day is that?
I don't know.
On a Thursday?
Well, you said they bumped it back. Maybe they bumped it back to the Friday, the 19th.
Could be. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get with Chris and find out what we're doing.
I'm sure he will let us know on Monday morning.
But I need time to prepare.
It's Monday at 10. Hey, guess what we're doing tonight?
Yeah, you do have time to prepare from the time that he tells you until the time the show starts.
But if we're talking about something we haven't discussed, I need my notes.
Yeah, Debbie has to write notes.
I do, because senior brain.
Cam, you got anything? Shameless plugs?
New Cam and Focus coming out soon, middle of the month. My last episode was a short review on the new Star Wars novel Shadow of the Sith.
I just started that.
Yes, takes place after Return of the Jedi. It's the Luke and Lando adventure when they go searching for Exegol. Pretty good. It contextualizes basically the entire sequel trilogy. So a lot of questions that people had regarding that trilogy are answered in that book and then some. So if you haven't read it yet, I'd recommend it. It's not a perfect book by any means, but it's good. I liked it a lot.
Cool. I've been looking for that one and for Brotherhood, which was the other one you said.
Yes,
Brotherhood was good.
Yeah, those two are books that definitely make the movies that they're about better. So, I said this in my review. The highest praise that I can give Shadow of the Sith is the fact that it made me want to go back and rewatch The Rise of Skywalker. So, yes.
Well, I haven't finished it, so I can't, I can't say I would feel that way, but
I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
But so far, and I just started it. I think I just started the Sith Shadow of the Sith Monday. So, and I only get to read it at nighttime, right before bed, and during my lunch period. So, I'm not real far into it, but so far I'm liking it. I was confused on a couple of parts, but then again, I wasn't paying attention to because they have, it takes place now or it takes place in the past or whatever. So I was kind of confused on a few parts. I was like, what? Did I miss something? Did my Kindle skip ahead?
Non-linear storytelling. Gotta love it.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We are going to be back next week. We will be discussing yet another arc from the Clone Wars. We're letting Cam pick this time. I picked the Mortis arc. Debbie picked the one we just did tonight. And now it's Cam's turn. Cam gets to do one. I think.
You need me to tell you now?
No.
Now.
No.
How about that Zilla Beast?
Oh,
that's not a bad one. It wasn't horrible.
Well, I was thinking more Maul's takeover of Mandalore.
Oh, yeah. Well, if that's the one we're gonna go with, then that's the one we'll be talking about next week. I'll have to
Sounds good to me.
I'll have to find the seasons and the thing, but I'll let y'all all know that later.
I believe that's the later part of season 5, if I'm not mistaken.
You may be right too. All right. Well, other than that, thank you all for joining us and listening in and for commenting when you did. We will see you all next week, and may the Force be with you all.